Welcome back to Sunday Night Dinners with Deborah. So tonight I'm making roasted potatoes. It's going alongside of some shish tao chicken, and I'm also grilling off some eggplant to make into a dip for tomorrow. But I'm just showing you the roasted potatoes because the secret is I'm also seasoning my cast iron frying pan at the same time. So first we start with just a few potatoes, however many you want. I only want 4 potatoes because they're small, and we just peel them off. If you don't want to peel them, you don't have to. So my peeled potatoes, rinse them off, and I'm just cutting them into the size of roasted potato that I want. About 3/4 of an inch. So, because that way you have a little bit of a soft inside, but you have lots of surface area for the outside to get crispy. Now I have some paper toweling here, and I am going to dry off my potatoes because I've rinsed them off after I peeled them, and they also produce, as you can see, it sticks to my knife, potato starch. And we want to just make our potatoes as dry as possible, and I just set them all onto the paper toweling. And we just dry them off. It's to reduce the amount of moisture when we fry them in the cast iron frying pan so that they get a nice, crisp, dark crust on them. And it also reduces the amount of spitting in the oil that they do, so they're less dangerous. I've got my cast iron frying pan. Now it just needs a little bit of seasoning. It's not bad, but I always want to keep up with the seasoning. Now it is now hot. I put my hand over this cast iron pan to see if it's hot. Not touching it. I'm adding about 1/4 of an inch of oil to the bottom of the pan so that it is covered all over. And I'm going to wait until the oil starts to smoke ever so slightly. It won't take long at all. I have my oven preheated at 350. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little bit of smoke coming off of the oil, which is exactly how we want it. Now I'm lifting up the toweling, and away from myself, I'm dropping in those potatoes. And I'm moving it only once, just to make sure that the potatoes are touching the bottom of the pan. Now here's the real secret to getting nice, crisp, round potatoes. Don't touch them. Let the heat do the magic for about 3 or 4 minutes. What I can do is take my salt and pepper, and I'm going to be using it's actually a fish turner, but any type of open utensil, a slotted spoon even, will work beautifully. Now, we look at our potatoes, and they're starting to get a little bit of color on them. So that's good. Ooh. See, here's a good one. That's an example. You can see it's starting to get a nice golden brown color. So we turn over our potatoes. It does spit a bit, even having dried them off. And it'll take about another 2 or 3 minutes on the other side. It doesn't take long at all. And then about 10 minutes in the oven. You want to try and make sure that every surface has had a chance to brown. And you can do as many or as few potatoes as you want. This will give us enough for dinner tonight and a little bit for lunch tomorrow. These also make great breakfast potatoes. Now, as you can see, they're getting nice and browned. And now I'm just going to throw in an onion that I've chopped into sixes. Stir it around. And now I'm going to pop it in the oven. Taking the fish spatula out first, of course. That goes in for about 10 minutes. So our potatoes are done. It's been about 8 minutes. Look at that. Beautiful, deeply beautiful roasted potatoes. And as I push the potatoes to one side, you can see that my pan is beautifully seasoned. So it's a double win. Delicious potatoes, and my cast iron pan gets a beautiful seasoning. It is really that quick. So here we have a perfectly seasoned. As you can see, all I have to do is wipe it clean. Perfectly seasoned cast iron pan. A little salt, a rinse with water, a little bit of a scrub with the salt, and it'll be perfectly seasoned. And indeed, we have delicious roasted potatoes, waiting for the chicken to be ready. So there, I just rinsed it out with the water, scrubbed it with the little bit of salt, and rinsed it again, and it is perfectly seasoned. It's completely non-stick. Take care of your cast iron, and you'll have it for years. It's a win-win all the way around. So, I'm just about to grab the chicken off the barbecue and the eggplant as well for tomorrow, and I will see you again.